So here we have it, 1999 M3. Here is the right axle, and here's the left axle. Now, by the look at it, by the looks of it, we can see here that on the right axle, right about here, it seems dry and normal, and this is the fully functional axle. But here on the left, we have a leak, it seems. And, you know, that's coming from the left axle, which is the one that's damaged. So we're going to look into that and see what's going on here.
So far, we proceed to unbolt the axle from the diff. This is inverted Torx on the bolt. We went and this is a E30, let me see, E12. This is a E12 inverted Torx that goes with a long extension. It goes from the wheel and you come over the wheel and you put it under the bolt, and it works much better because then you're outside the wheel over this side, so you can get it and turn it and take all the bolts out. Okay, once you remove all the bolts, just pull on the axle this way, drop it down, and then drop the torsion bar down. 113 on top, 113 on the other one. The other one is holded by the groove here into here. You drop it down. Once you drop it down, you move the exhaust hangers down there. Remove the two hangers up here, one on the other side. Put the exhaust on the stand. Once you put the exhaust on the stand, then you can drop the axle down. Then you can slide the axle out this way instead of tearing down the suspension, okay?
All right. Now, we'd also like to add that while we were just replacing the axle, we also noticed a little leak here coming from the diff. And we are thinking that it's going to be replacing seal that we need. So we're going to go ahead and buy seal, which is also known as a gasket, and go ahead and do that. Stay tuned.
Drive the axle backwards. So we have because we're in a shop environment, we have a chisel and a hair hammer that can actually push the axle forward. If you didn't, then you just get a hammer and a regular chisel, or the hammer itself, and strike it right here. Careful not to damage the tread. Strike it right there and push it in, okay? Because this one is pretty tight because it's been in there for a while, so we can whack it to get it loosened up.
Actually trying to hammer this axle shaft out of the assembly.
Alright, this is a 99 M3. It's never been pulled before, so it's kind of like in there. So we really got to do some of the work. Now the trick is you can turn the ball peen hammer, turn this there that way, and then you get a little bit of heavy duty sledge and whack it that way. Okay, this axle was really frozen in the hub. So you remember, we use the ball peen hammer, which is this side of the hammer, to fit in here, like that, and then we whack it, okay? Whack it, drive it out, right? Drive it out. As you can see, it moves in now. See, that means it's slowly coming in. So at that point, you would get like maybe a regular chisel and then hit it, regular rounded chisel, hit it. But since we're in the shop again, we're gonna use the hair hammer, because the hair hammer would kind of like vibrate it out and help loosen up the rust and all of that that's been sealed. And as you can see, it will go in. Now we're out. See, these removed from the spline, been in there since 1999, so it's really frozen in there. Now we go to the back. We go to the back, and we're gonna pull the axle out. And So right here, this is gonna be the easiest way to just pull the axle outwards and get it out. We had dropped the torsion bar down, the exhaust down, just the hangers, and put the exhaust on a stand so we got enough room to clear it off. And you can just pull the axle right out, okay? Alright. Here's the axle. So again, that was pretty easy. We just drive it out of here. Remove all these bolts. E3, E11, special head. Okay? So all you gotta do, unbolt that and bolt the special nut. Special nut here. That's 36 millimeter. 36 millimeter with a what they call this 12-point socket. 36 millimeter 12-point special socket. This is one that 36 millimeter. Okay, but this is one. This is a 3/4 drive. So what we did have these because we work on big trucks and all of that. So we put this is a 3/4 drive. So you put a 3/4 drive to a 1/2-inch adapter in there. Okay, that. Then you can put it with your regular 1/2-inch ratchet, or in this case, we use old big boy. 1/2-inch Ingersoll Rand air impact gun. Okay, and turn it out. Well, that's it. So to go back in, it's real simple. You're gonna get your axle, new axle, turn it this way, slide this end in, back into the splines, line it up good. You probably could put a little bit of WD-40 on it to make it goes in easily. Push it back in, and then after you push it back in, you put on your nut on here, and then you go ahead and line up the axle over there to catch into these holes, line them up, and then you tighten up each one of them slowly and turn it around and around until you go around. And again, remember, we went from the top here because this was very easy to go from the top here, goes to the bolts right there, and use the 1/2-inch gun, or 1/2-inch or a 3/8 ratchet, whatever. You can use it and stand right here where you have a lot of clearance to unbolt it and to bolt it back in. Again, for those that are not using any ear tool, in this case, you probably wouldn't want to use the parking brake to hold this, or use a differential, put it in park to lock this, and then each time you probably would have to go back and move it and put it in park again to lock the differential so it doesn't turn while you're trying to spin the bolts in. Okay, that's it, real easy.
Alright, so as we said a little earlier in this video, we noticed there was a problem with the there was some type of leak coming from the seal of the differential, and we were trying to figure out how to take out this part of the axle, but to our surprise, it just slides right out once you pry it out. There's nothing really holding it in. So we're going to pull this out. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And as you can see inside, this is the differential, inside the differential. And we noticed that it's the outer seal that needs replacing.
Which is called an axle seal.
Which is also known as the axle seal, as my father said.
Or the output shaft, axle differential output shaft seal.
Yep. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and replace the outer seal, and because we see that that's the cause of this leak. So now that we have all the bolts removed, we're going to go ahead and pry off the housing. There we go. Starting to come loose now. And it may be a little tough because, oh, there it goes, dropped out, man. Yellow. Now, you want to make sure that you have a drain pan available because once you do remove that, it will start to drip or flow onto the floor, depending on how much fluid you have in your differential.
So now this is the axle shaft seal, and we can see where it's been leaking. Okay, so now to remove this seal, since we got the hub out, turn it upside down and just use a punch and a hammer. Just knock it side and side, and just drive it up. That's it. Okay, take it out. Remember, replace the seal. You put the seal in back this way. Okay, the rubber pointing out, the metal part goes in. Drive it down until the flush. It's gonna be flush up on this race. You will, once you knock it in, you will hear the difference in the sound of the hammer when it actually touches here. And then your seal is in. Be a good idea at this time to also replace this O-ring here. And this rubber O-ring is easy to come off. You just go like this with a pick, slide it up, and out the way. Okay, good going.